Hey teams, Coach Roundtree here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let's go. If this is your first time, thank you so much for clicking on this video. On my channel, I post interview tips and career advice to help you elevate your game. And I'm very excited to share a new series I'm starting called the Top 25 Interview Questions. In this series, I'm going to give you practical advice on how you can answer the most common questions that you're going to experience in an interview. And the most important, in my opinion, is the tell me about yourself question. This is how every interview starts. And I want to help you with 3 steps today to answer this question and be successful. Let's get started. So what are the 3 steps? First, you're going to talk about who you are. This is an opportunity for you to communicate what makes you unique, what makes you stand out as a candidate, and find a way to connect with the interviewer. You want to talk about what you're proud about so far in your career or your life. And again, this is how you connect with the interviewer to change the interview from a traditional interview to more of a conversation. Next, you will talk about what you've done. What school have you attended? What experiences have you had to date? So that me, as the person interviewing you, I can say, okay, this person can do this job. And the last question is, why do you want this job? Every interviewer has this in their mind. They want to know, why are you here today? Why am I interviewing? And you want to say to them, I'm here looking for an opportunity to grow as a leader or to gain more experience in an area that I'm very passionate about. But the one thing you want to be sure is this: you want to make sure you answer this question in 2 minutes or less. We'll talk about this in more detail, but I've seen candidates, and even early in my career, I took too much time answering this question, didn't give the interviewer an opportunity to ask follow-up questions, again, to have a good conversation. So here are the 3 tips, the 3 steps to answer this question. And now let's break down each one. When you're talking about who you are, you really want to build rapport by telling your story. I always tell candidates, you want to make sure you talk about where you're from, and I'll share a quick story. After getting my bachelor's in environmental science from North Carolina Central University, go Eagles, my first job after college, I was interviewing for a teaching position. The assistant principal interviewed me first, and he asked me to tell me about yourself. And I said, well, I'm from a little small town in North Carolina. So I told him my small town. And the first thing he did is he stopped me and said, do you know Coach Mack? I said, yeah, he was my football coach. And we started talking about Coach Mack and basketball, and football, how we're both passionate about that. And I immediately had a connection with the assistant principal. So after that interview with the principal, and then the assistant principal came back for one more interview, and he said, would you be interested in also coaching the basketball team? I said, sir, that's always been a dream. I love basketball, and I want to give back and share what I've learned about the game. Long story short, I got the job, was able to go and become a very successful teacher and coach, won back-to-back championships, and coached Devontae Graham, who now plays in the NBA. But it all began with letting know where I'm from. We connected during that interview, and the rest is history. So what you want to make sure you share your story so that you can connect with the interviewer, and again, change it from an interview to a conversation with that personal connection. Here's a template you can use. You can talk about, hey, when someone says, tell me about yourself, sure, I was born and raised in whatever city, state, or country. I started my career as a science teacher, as a marketing manager, as an engineer. As an engineer, I learned how to communicate with others or lead teams to accomplish a goal. I'm proud of the impact I made as an engineer or a teacher, and was able to accomplish X, Y, and Z. But here's how I've actually answered this question during interviews. Marcus Roundtree, born and raised in North Carolina. I started my career as a science teacher and basketball coach. As a teacher and coach, I learned how to communicate with others and lead a team to accomplish a goal. I'm proud of the impact I made as a teacher, and was fortunate to also coach Devontae Graham, who now plays in the NBA. After teaching, I received my Master of Business Administration from NC State. I've transitioned to a marketing professional with over 10 years of experience. So again, the goal here, team, for this first step is build rapport, tell your story, where are you from, what you've done, what you're proud of, so that again, you can connect with the interviewer, change it from an interview to a conversation. Let's move on to the next tip. When you're talking about what you've done, you want to share your career highlights. If you've ever watched ESPN or SportsCenter, there's always a recap of the games of the day or the night. But if you think about a basketball, football game, that's 2.5, 3 hours. There's not enough time for that 1 hour Sports Center TV show to give you every single thing that's happened in the day of sports. They only give you the highlights. And that's something you should do when you're talking about what you've done. Focus on your career highlights, the 3 to 5 things that you're proud about, the key roles or companies you work with, or the wins in your career so far, not everything on your resume. And I'll share a quick story. I was interviewing with on a hiring panel recently, and started every interview with "Tell me about yourself." And the first 2 candidates, they literally spent 20 minutes, well, the first 20 minutes going through every single detail on their resume. And I literally had to interject and say, "I'm sorry, could you please share with me the 3 to 5 things you're most proud about? I'm concerned we're going to run out of time. And I do have 3 to 4 questions that I really want to ask about your experience." So I had to redirect those interviews. So you think about it, you only have 30, 45 minutes in these interviews, an hour maybe. If you spend the first 15 to 20 minutes just on your resume, you're wasting valuable time that you can truly share and demonstrate why you are the great candidate for that job. So make sure you focus on your key highlights, your career highlights, and not every single thing on your resume. Here's a template you can use. You can talk about, with X number of years of experience, I've led strategies, launched new products. It could be market research or product development, and the skills I have in terms of public speaking or leadership to deliver a great customer experience to drive business results. And here's actually how I've answered this question during interviews. With over 10 years of marketing experience, I've led product launches for national retailers, conducted customer research studies to inform the product design strategy, and presented business cases to senior leadership to gain executive alignment and drive business value. For the second tip, you want to talk about your career highlights. What you've done should be limited to 3 to 5 things, the 3 to 5 wins, the roles, the companies that you've worked for that are most relevant for this interview, not every single thing on your resume. Let's finish up with the last tip. Why do you want this role? Every recruiter, hiring manager, in their mind, they're thinking, okay, why is this person here today? And I want to encourage you to position yourself as you're running towards this new opportunity. You're not running from your current job. You want an opportunity to grow as a leader. And that's something you want to have in the beginning when you're answering the question, tell me about yourself. Answer that up front so that you can have a great conversation. Here's a template you can use. I'm here today because I'm excited about opportunity. The company mission, it aligns to my personal values, and I'm looking for a new challenge, or I want to progress in my career. Here's actually how I've answered this part of the question. I'm here today because I believe in the mission and values of this company, and I'm ready for a new challenge in my career that will allow me to continue to grow as a leader while helping the company achieve its short-term and long-term business goals. The last tip is you want to answer the question, why do you want this job? Why do you want this role before they ask it? Talk about how you're excited about the opportunity, that you want to continue to grow as a leader, and you want to make sure that you position yourself as, I'm not running from my current job, I'm running to a new opportunity. So let's bring this all together and answer the question from start to finish. All right, let's go. So the interviewer says, thank you for your interest in our company and this role. Let's get started by telling me about yourself. Here's how I'll answer. Sure, Marcus Roundtree is born and raised in North Carolina. I started my career 15 years ago as a science teacher and basketball coach. I'm proud to say that I coached Devontae Graham in middle school, who now plays in the NBA. As a teacher, I learned how to communicate and coach others, and I've carried those skills with me throughout my business career. After 2 years of teaching, I got my Master's of Business Administration from NC State and transitioned to marketing with national retailers. I've held roles in product marketing, CRM, customer analytics, business strategy, and have over 10 years of experience. In each of these roles, I led cross-functional teams to solve complex business problems in the US, EMEA, and APAC regions. In my current role, I serve as a senior product marketing manager at a leading technology company, where I'm developing and executing the go-to-market strategies for new products across the globe. I'm here today because I believe in the mission of this company. I want to take the next step in my career and continue to grow as a leader. So how did I use the 3 tips we talked about today to answer that question? First, I talked about where I'm from to establish a personal connection and what I'm proud about so far in my life and in my career. From there, I talked about what I've done to date, my educational background, the roles that I've held with national retailers, the years of experience I had, and the types of problems that I've solved. And I finished the end of this answer with why I'm here today, because I believe in the mission of the company and I want to take the next step in my career and continue to grow as a leader. Team, that's it. Those are the 3 steps to answer the tell me about yourself question. First, you want to talk about who you are. This is your opportunity to communicate what makes you unique. What are you proud about in your life and your career to connect with the interviewer? You want to talk about what you've done to date. Share the school you've attended, what experiences you've had in your current or former jobs that demonstrate to the interviewer that you can do this job. And the last step is, before they ask, answer the question, why this job? Why are you here today interviewing? Because you want to grow as a leader and gain more experience. I hope this was helpful. This is the first of my new series, the top 25 interview questions. Every interviewer you have is going to ask you, they're going to ask you, tell me about yourself. And here are the 3 steps to do that. Hope this was helpful. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how your next interview goes. And again, I'm Coach Roundtree. On my channel, I post interview tips and career advice to help you elevate your game. Hope this was helpful. Take care.